Good morning, everybody. We'll be with you shortly. A little late today.
Article department researching this article I read. I saw about it like 3 or 4 months ago, and then I looked at it, and then some more research was done about cold therapy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be with you in just a moment here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this show on the road here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. It's July 23rd, 2025. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, the man in the box next to me. Mr. Pedro Garcia, the crypto analyst. Sorry for starting late today, everybody. I did a 3-hour drive this morning that turned into a 4.5-hour drive back from the Oshkosh Air Show. Supposed to be here for it, but ran a little late. Instead of trying to do it from the car, Pedro said, let's just wait till you get home, but it turned out to be a lot longer than planned. Anyway, we're here. Pedro Garcia, what's happening today? Oh, you put yourself on mute.
It's me moving my hands and stuff. Anyways, what do I do with these? I don't know what to do with these.
My hands.
I'm just kidding. What in my hands? What do I do with my hands? Anyhow, so it has been a crazy, absolute fun day. The markets have been screaming up unexpectedly
we'll be with
for the S&P 500. So that was kind of crazy.
I've been out of the news loop except for airplane deliveries and orders, so I don't have any idea what has been said in Washington to cause the stock market to go bonkers. We used to say what goes on in New York to cause the stock market to change. Now we just say what goes on in Washington.
it's interesting because Brickle is now such a is like the Wall Street of crypto now, right? Like it's just kind of crazy down there. And so when they do stuff, I've always been kind of amazed now to watch, like as they start to really progress, or when Miami and Florida really start to progress with crypto. It's going to be really interesting to see when they talk, see the transition from Wall Street to Brickle. You know, that's actually going to be really kind of fun. We'll see if it does, but it's been really interesting to see what's going on. Anyways, let's talk about Bitcoin here real quick. I was expecting us to kind of push up here because of the fact that we got above the 8-period moving average. We're having the pullback here. And Sunday we went down. So we're still kind of in this little range here. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I was hoping we could see it pop like it's hot. And see it go up to that 230 area, but we did a bit of a pullback.
130.
Say again.
You mean it went to? You said it going to the 230 area.
I'm sorry.
130.
130.
Damn.
Well, not yet, but I mean that'd be dope if it did, because then all of our backs would be like, "Yeah, let's go!" Right, that would be from waking up and all of a sudden it's just everything has 2 to 3x, and you're like, "That's a good day." Anyways, so the reason why I'm bringing this up is we did a bit of a sell-off, but if you guys notice, we really didn't put any
All
supply
right, ladies and gentlemen, let's
right?
get
Like,
this show on the road here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. It's July 23rd, 2025. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, the man in the box next to me. Mr. Pedro Garcia, the crypto analyst. Sorry for starting late today, everybody.
Higher time
I did
frames
a 3-hour drive this morning that turned into a
really
4.5-hour drive.
signaling saying, hey, yeah, we're really trying to push this market
supposed to be here for it.
So I wonder if this was more of like
a instead of trying to do it
they're
from
just
the
trying
car,
to mess with people so they can stop people out. And then in that same process, we're also putting in some demand at these lower levels here. So which means that people are actually buying. When you look at that 1 hour or 16-minute time frame, you can see that, even as we were coming down, you saw, demand wicks selling off, one row supply wick, and then demand wick. So I think maybe we're going to come back and tap that 115, 116 over the weekend. I hate, we're on Wednesday right now. We could just sell off, hit that, and push back up. But again, there's still a lot of liquidity down at these lower levels here. So this is where I'm just kind of like, come on, make up your mind here. Like, it's either you're going to push up or come down. Either way, let's make up your mind. So we'll see what's up. But again, I'm noticing as we're selling off, we're not putting a lot of supply wicks. And so, like for example, you can see here, right? Like we were coming up, no real demand wicks. So you knew as they started putting these supply wicks, they were going to come down, right? Well, look, we're coming down here. The only real supply wick, the only real like seller wick is up at these levels here, maybe. But everything else is minute, right? So this is where I'm just kind of like, we'll see. So that's where I'm really looking at the market here. It's just, I just feel like
a big nothing burger.
It is. It's a big nothing burger. And with that sell off, everything else came in, right? Like we saw the sell off on ETH. We saw the sell off on BNB. BNB sold off pretty hard, man. I thought, we got up to that 810 all-time high now, new all-time high. Let's go BNB, right? And so like I thought that was going to be pushing in, and we saw, but like right at the top here, you can just see somebody got the top, boom, sold out. This is a typical what the institutions do. They come in, everybody goes buying, and then what happens? The institutions come in and take the other side, drop the market. People get disillusioned, so they sell off. And then the institutions come in and buy at these levels here, like that 100-day period moving average.
Like clockwork, and it worked perfectly.
You took that too?
No, I didn't get it. I didn't dabble in it, but I watched it pump. I was like, I'd get notifications. BNB's up higher and higher and higher. I'm like Bitcoin. I'm like Binance must be buying some new stuff, or buying their own thing in order to pump it, bring in a bunch of retail people. Like, we're going to the moon. and then they dump it and then buy more at even a lower price.
It might not even be Binance. I mean, it very much could be just institutions that are going through and really trying to just pick up more, right? Before we really get, I mean, I think we already are getting this altcoin season underway. So it's just like one of those moments that, now granted, there were a lot of volume sitting there. It really was, right? Like I saw, like, look, this is a decent amount of volume coming in. But when you look at it though, like, I was looking at that and I was like, well, you have kind of just as, I wouldn't say just as much, but you're definitely seeing on a 5-minute style here, or on a 5-minute chart here, that this right here has a decent amount of wicks here. And this was at that bottom. So you can definitely see that they definitely picked up quite a bit of BNB at this level. And then even as we were pushing up here, granted, there's a lot of volume, but look, it's not as if like there's an excessive amount of seller or buying volume here. So this is where I'm sitting there going, you know, this looks like it might just want to just like kind of sell off so they can pick up. But either way, BNB is definitely in that push up, pull back module. And so I always say, go to your 1 hour period, right? Go to your 1 hour period and or 60-minute chart and look at where the moving average are sitting. You can see you have that 100 period center. We bounce off, boom. We have the 200, we have the 400, and these are at critical levels. So if we hit it, you can definitely see that there's going to be demand wigs, right? So it's just like, it's kind of exciting because, you know, as it pulls back, what do? They pick up more buyers, right? Because the sellers step in. And then they drop the market, and then what happens? People come in and they buy it, or institutions buy it, and then they push it back up. So again, exciting times, really exciting times. When you look at our other friend here, just joking, not really. XRP, you know, I kind of got schooled by, and I hate to say, Shogun yesterday. He did school me, and he was right on. He was actually right on. And I give him dabs on the show as well as on his show. And the fact is that I have been poo-pooing XRP. And he goes, you could have been buying XRP like at 30 cents, 29 cents, and you've been poo-pooing it. And he goes, that's stupid. He goes, you know it has a huge community. You know it has real star power. And you should have been buying it. You could have been poo-pooing it and still buying it and be up a 10, 15x.
It's me too. Same here.
And I sat there and I was like, he's right. He's freaking right. And then I was like, but, and he goes, your butts are nothing but your pride. And I sat there and I was like, oh,
he's right. Damn it, Jim.
Yeah, that's exactly. And you listen, I'm all about finding the right answer. I'm not about trying to be right. I want to know the right answer. And so I can move forward. And so I have to sit there and go, okay, I know that we're going to $9. I know we're probably going to, XRP is going to be the base level on top of Bitcoin, I think. We're going to see that type of move. And then from there, we're going to see they're going to be the one that collateralize Bitcoin and really get it going into BlackRock, JP Morgan, and be the type of level. They're kind of the same people at hand. We all know that. We've been talking about this for months, knowing that the institutions are a part of that organization, and just sucks. But I sat there and he said, dude, it's not too late because you know it's going higher. He goes, it should be around $100 here soon. And in the next, when I say soon, I mean like in the next, 10, 15 years, 20 years. So to sit there and say that you got it at $3 or $2.50 is still not bad. And he goes, but imagine being able to buy it at 30 cents. And I'm like, right. Yeah, just straight up. Again, I am not for XRP. I don't like what XRP is doing, but Shogun was right with the sense of you could be literally sitting on, $100,000 bag. You could have put in $10,000 down at the 30 cents, right? That 33 cent area that I had been talking about for literally 2 years. And I have to admit that. I have to say he was right. He's absolutely right.
I'm in your boat, Pedro, with that. I ate the XRP crow a long time ago. And I was like, I was wrong. I was wrong. I thought the market had priced in them winning the getting out of the SEC thing, and clearly it didn't, because that's last bit of news. It 6x'd it. It was at 70 or was it 50 cents or 60 cents or whatever 2 days later, it was at $3.50 or whatever. All I know is I blew it, and I shouldn't have.
It's not too late. But it's not even too late. I do think we're going to see a pullback with XRP here down to that 230 area. I'll be picking up some XRP at this level. Oh, I can't believe it's coming out of my mouth. But like he said, if it is going to be the new financial coin that we're going to see everybody use, it's foolish not to go ahead and pick some up and just be ready for it. And he's right. So shout out to you, Shogun. Thank you for the knowledge and wisdom. I felt foolish. Thank you. And I always love it when I have opposing views on what I see. And if it's right on, if it's truth, thank you. I may not be so apt to receive it and drink it at first, but if it's good medicine, it just may not taste as good as it may not taste as sweet as I want. But you know what? Ultimately, I've got to bow down to it. But it doesn't mean that I'm not building something that's going to kick it in its face. That's down the road. Anyways, so Tom, this pullback here, as you know, what is the first thing I'm going to say here?
The first thing is that I'm pretty sure you don't have a Rumble Premium account, do you, Pedro?
No, I do not. Tell me about it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I know many of you are watching here on Rumble. That's right. Rumble's been very good to us. They've taken us in. They've made us creators, which we still have some things to do this month to stay in the creator program, I might add. And they're also a segment sponsor, because this sponsorship is from Rumble, one that is incredibly important to the survival of the company. When Rumble first started in 2013, they built the platform for the small creator. They didn't censor or have biases. They were fair and treated all creators equally. No one thought platforms would censor political conversation or opinions on COVID. But they did. Facebook admitted they fell to pressure from the Biden and Harris administration. We all remember Mark Zuckerberg testifying in front of Congress saying, yeah, we did. They called, we did it. Rumble did not. They held the line. They are attacked daily for giving us a voice to talk to you. They're attacked in corporate media. They are attacked in governments like France. They are attacked from brand advertisers who refuse to work with them. Corporate America is fighting to remove speech. Rumble is fighting to keep it. Rumble won't survive with brand advertisers. They just don't get much of it. Watching our show on Rumble is the most they can ask from you. But if you really believe in this fight, and if you have the means, one major way you can help Rumble survive is by joining Rumble Premium. Join the community that believes in the First Amendment and believes in our human right to free speech. Rumble is offering $10 off with the promo code STUDIO when you purchase an annual subscription. Go to rumble.com/premium and use the promo code STUDIO. Like I said, if you have the means and believe in the cause, now is the time to join Rumble Premium. If you don't have the means, we're just happy that you are watching us here on Rumble. So everybody, go to rumble.com/premium and use the promo code STUDIO to get $10 off the annual subscription. Let them know that Striking and Pedro sent you. And you can do that by clicking this QR code right next to me here. Go there. Even if you're watching this and you're maybe on the fence, click it. Go sign up on the page, or go see the page. Let our advertisers know you're interactive and you're a real person here. It would help us all out. Also, in the chat comments where you're watching this on both on Rumble, you will see a link there as well. And in the body of the description, there'll be links. Yada yada yada. So anyway, thanks to Rumble for sponsoring this segment of our show. All right, Pedro, back to business here.
Sorry. So let's go ahead and hit this up here real quick, because I think it's real interesting. I had a few people reach out to me over from yesterday saying that they really liked Brian and me and him kind of yelling, or not yelling, but just disagreeing with each other. But again, like how me... Sorry about that.
Those damn OnlyFans sites waking up out of nowhere.
Honestly, I'm actually talking to a girl. who has an OnlyFans account. Now, I don't mean like talking as in like wooing her, but I mean just she hits me up on not Facebook, on X.
No fixing her.
No, I'm not gonna fix her. I'm not gonna fix her. But what's interesting though is that I sit there and like she's like, you know, like, why don't you come to my OnlyFans? And I was like, I will never come to your OnlyFans ever. First of all, I'm not built that way mentally, like at all.
You know that 12-year-old in the Philippines that is getting paid to chat with you he'll get you eventually, Pedro.
Refuse it. But it's interesting, and that makes me sick just even thinking about that.
True, that's what they do.
Anyways, I know. And but the thing about it though is, so she was asking me, where are you? So I was like, I'm kind of in this area, and she's like, we should meet up. And I was like, I don't know about that one. But the thing is my hopes is that, you know, she can get into crypto and then like not have to do that. Like imagine if
see, you're trying to fix her.
Well, right. But here's the thing. Imagine if she was to get into crypto, get in on a few meme coins. She's got extra money, obviously, and you know, and really help her kind of get in so she doesn't have to do that. And that's the thing I love about crypto is that there's been multiple stories of people who are immigrants who came over and just put their money into some meme coins and a few other things, and all of a sudden they made it. So it's like one of those things. I feel like Bitcoin and crypto is one of those things that it gives way to people who are kind of, well, I want to say disadvantaged, but could be in, you know, like I think people who do OnlyFans, not to say that it, you know, like if they could have a job where they can make, you know, a couple $100,000 doing something else versus OnlyFans, I think they would do that, you know. And so I feel like, you know, that's where Bitcoin and crypto stand apart and can really help people. Whereas like traditional finance, it's very hard to do that.
You're missing a key ingredient here, Pedro. Bitcoin and crypto is maybe. Earning money on OnlyFans is 100% guaranteed. One has risk, the other does not. One, if you go to the bank and say, hey, I invest in crypto, they're like, get out. If you go to the bank and say, oh, I got an OnlyFans thing and it brings me $100,000 a month, they're like, come on, we'll give you a mortgage, whatever you want. Sad, isn't it?
Yeah, it hurts me. One day, we'll be able to be past this period in time. Anyways, so the other part I want you to pay attention to is, did we put in a seller wick on the daily on Mr. Candle? No, we did not. We did not do that. And because of that's a good indication that we'll probably see a bounce back. So I don't know how far it's going to go. I am looking for potentially that 288 and then also down around the 240, 230 or 250 to 230 area. We have all these moving averages sitting right here. So we could see it push back up here at any point of here, but how far is it going to go? We don't know, but I am looking to capture, which I can't believe I'm going to say, some XRP. Shout out to Shogun. Okay, so jumping back here, also, do you have any news sources or anything like that you want to pull up and kind of talk about real quick?
I literally ran from the car inside, and I got nothing. If you go on to do something else, I'll find something.
All right.
To be honest, the only thing I'd wanted to talk about before was XRP, because XRP was in the flag on that chart that you had, and the internet denzians of the XRP army were like, it's getting ready to go up to $4 right here on your but over the past day it's pulled back here. But at the end of yesterday, it closed at the top of its range, and there was this beautiful little bull flag there. It's at its highs. You got to be careful with the bull flags. And as Pedro always says, you got to watch the volume on these things. And they had all these big green candles in a row. And people, especially institutions, they take profits. So you got to be careful of those. And sure enough, today, boop, said, nope, we're not going into the new local all-time highs here. We are going to hang out and go a little lower. And so that was, I love watching the internet influencers just go crazy. And our good friend Oscar Ramos is one of them too, but he's usually very conservative. He's not a moon boy by any means. But still, everyone was like, what? It got to 3 easily here, came back. The volume came up, and it's going to go to 4. And then the great institutions in the land of the internet and crypto went, nope, we're going back to 2.5 first. Actually, it only got down to what, 3.25 or something like that.
Yeah. It's real interesting, though. Really interesting. One of the things I thought was the other backside behind this is the volume that did come in on it was about 4 mil, and the average volume in the day chart right now is 2.6 mil. So it was a little bit of definitely above, I mean, almost 2x above the actual, not 2x, but like a, 75% peak above the average volume. So I just thought that was a little bit interesting though, watching XRP do what it's doing here. Don't know if it's going to continue down hard, but I'm definitely watching and seeing. But the thing that lets me know that they're looking to push it back up is the fact that we don't have any supply wick on this, as well as if you look at your your hourly chart, it's playing off of this, but there's no real supply, and they're more or less putting in demand when it's on your hour chart. So again, though, there's a lot of volume for today of the sell-off for XRP though. So that's why I think we're going to go further down at these levels. The other part behind it, which I thought was also interesting, was what we saw within the actual market in general. When you look at the S&P 500, we saw the S&P 500 kind of skyrocket day, pumped really hard on news. But what I thought was interesting, more than just peculiar, is the people, like, there wasn't a ton of like chatter about it. Like, again, we're at all-time highs, and normally every time we see that, you just see a bunch of good news. Now, I don't know if it's been overshadowed because of what's happening in China and some of the stuff that they have going on there with the Hong Kong dollar dropping. And some people say it's the carry trade. Other people say it might be deflation scares, and a major corporation over there in Hong Kong is having issues with, like, is the government going to step in and save them? And Beijing is very, they're very hands-on. I mean, even more so than what America is like for those who can't fail. And so if they are going to step in, obviously, it probably might be restructured and then put back into a private setting again down the road. But it's going to be really interesting.
Was there a Hong Kong carry trade like the Japanese carry trade?
Yeah. Because remember, their whole entire system is depressed. Like, just like we see with Tokyo, right? And so that's why, now granted, Japan is much more liquid, and people trust Japan much more than China, but you can still pull money from China at lower interest rates and then take it to the US dollar or other high yield.
Via Hong Kong.
Via Hong Kong. Yeah, the HK currency. Now, it is different than the yen, but it's still parallel. It's the two, what is it? One nation, two systems. It's still that way. I mean, at least somewhat that way. So, and there's always still battling between, Hong Kong, and from a geopolitical or at least from a political standpoint, people definitely want their freedom in Hong Kong that they used to have under British rule. And
sorry,
Shanghai.
Party's over.
Well, here's the thing, though. You still have these young people who aren't contributing. They call it the lay down movement, where they just don't care to really work, because, like, what are we working for? Like, we don't even really have the freedom that we want, that we had previously under British rule. And so they've tasted the good life, and their parents have tasted the good life. That's not something that's going to go away. You know, like it's just not.
And what do they all do? They all do the same thing what every good young Hong Kong male and female does. They move to Vancouver. Canada just has open arms from everyone coming over there, and Vancouver is a hotbed of Hong Kong culture and immigrants. Like sometimes you think you're in Hong Kong. You're like, what the hell's going on here? But anyway, I didn't realize that there was a carry trade there as much like that, and there's a form of way of getting. I guess I don't know. I won't even try to put it together correctly. Yeah, no, I was just trying to understand the mechanics of it, and I'm not even going to try because I'll sit here for 10 minutes and say nothing.
Yeah,
gibberish.
We can go over it tomorrow. It'll be cool. But with that, potentially maybe money fleeing out of the HK and coming into the USD is what we're kind of seeing and experiencing. But we had such a push, but yeah, again, kind of lower volume than average for that move. So it's just like the average volume is about 1 million contracts, and we're not seeing necessarily the S&P 500 volume-wise really like substantiate that move up. So again, it's kind of scary. Like, hey, where's the volume? Kind of like, where's the beef?
Oh, the market pumped today because Trump opened his mouth and talked trade deals. Trump hatches trade deals before deadline, and he's talked about. I just went quickly to the homepage of CNBC, and they're talking about that. Even though new home sales were down a lot, especially in Illinois. Just the the home of the markets. Oh, New York? No, Washington D.C. And Mr. Trump.
Go ahead.
I was just saying that's as I'm looking at that green candle today, I'm like, there's got to be some good news or something. And sure enough, there was more talk about positive news on the trade deals, even though we've seen this 100 times already. Maybe not 100, but we've seen it at least 10 times. A massive pump because Trump says, I've solved blah, 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 everything's great. And then everyone's like, yeah, good, bullish, buy. And then 3 days later, extra 50%. Markets tank. Woo! Markets tank. And so I think the continuation of the we'll call it the Trump family insider trading is going on. Not that I know anything like that is happening. I'm just some idiot in Chicago in front of a camera here. But the markets really move when someone speaks, and if you know when that someone speaks what they're going to say, or even hint at it, you can make basically unlimited money.
Kind of, pretty much, yeah.
Until people start following you because they know, well, this guy's making too much money, he's doing something right, so let's follow them.
Well, it's interesting. Like multiple traders are now really complaining that, like, new home sales should have really put a kibosh and seen a sell-off. I'm part of a.
No, that means they got liquidated.
Yeah, exactly, because it pushed up because we saw the sales. And what was interesting is when you look at it, like I thought this was interesting, is that we saw, we saw it kind of go down. Let's go. There you are. On Monday, I was talking about, right, like Sunday or on Sunday we went up to come down, and so somebody said, well, we were up on Monday. And so I'd expect it to sell off. And so a lot of people are kind of wondering if it was going to see a sell-off come in with those negative numbers because we were pushing up first thing in the morning. And so it was like one of those moments that's like, oh, they're pushing up. That's going to expect them to kind of drop this. And you can see, so I want to make sure we correlate that. Give me 1 second. 7 o'clock and 10.
We just completed a massive deal with Japan, perhaps the largest deal ever made. Say it like a Japan emperor. Japan will invest at my discretion $550 billion into the United States, which will receive 90% of the profits. Oh, that's Bullshit. This deal will create hundreds of thousands of jobs. There has never been anything like it. Perhaps most importantly, Japan will open their country to trade, including cars and trucks, rice, and certain other agricultural products, and other things. Japan will pay reciprocal tariffs to the United States of 15%. This is a very exciting time for the United States of America, and especially for the fact that we will continue to always have a great relationship with the country of Japan. Thank you very much for your attention to this matter. Thank you. And that's the wrong page. And then there's a picture of him. Anyway, that was what caused the market pump here today. And if Japan gives us access to their markets, great. If not, no big deal, because that market will be very difficult to penetrate. Because people in Japan, as everybody knows, follow culture very, very tightly. And that doesn't mean buying a big dually Chevy pickup truck. You buy what you're supposed to buy. You do things what you're supposed to. Not because there's dictators, authoritarians. It's just their society. You do things that as people expect of you to do. And if you're a salary man, you buy this type of car, you have this type of house, you have this type of job, blah, 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 blah. Entrepreneurship isn't a big thing in Japan. Obviously, it has to be to create businesses, because they do that. But it's not a big thing. And that means sticking your nose out and trying something new is also not rewarded well there. So it'll be tough. It'll be tough penetrating those markets. But having the trade deal done and over and at a predictable 15%, well, that's great. Although I'm willing to bet the giant multi-billion-dollar purchase of U.S. Steel is included in that number that they're going to invest. They'll probably say, well, include everything that we've invested in the U.S. in the past 10 years. Okay, all right, fine.
So what you're saying, it's not really 50%. Or excuse me, it's not really 500 billion, but really kind of 500 billion aggregated over 10 years?
No, I'm willing to bet there are some trickery to those numbers. Of which I am unfamiliar with at this time. But I couldn't see just like within 6 months Japan saying, all right, we'll put $500 billion in. What do we want to do? I don't know. Let's make Corolla parts in North Dakota. Okay. Very, very. I mean, $500 billion in investment terms amongst the major corporations and countries of the world isn't much at all anymore. But deploying that capital and getting it out and getting it in effect somewhere so it works and brings a rate of return on is very difficult. I don't mean like, just put $500 in the market and get 5% return buying U.S. Treasuries. I mean, like, if you're going to create hundreds of thousands of jobs, that means manufacturing, that means supply chain, that means logistics and transportation and all this type of stuff. That's not a 1 year thing. That's not a 2 year thing. That's a 10-year thing. And I've built factories quickly, and it takes a long time, even when it's quickly. And it's fun. It's fun building factories. It's really interesting. I encourage anyone to go out that has a chance to build a factory to do it. You learn a lot of things really fast. Ooh, that was expensive. That was an expensive mistake. Oh, wow, was that expensive? Just getting the right power you need for your factory. You're like, I just need 1,000 amps at 480. And they're like, all right, that'll be about 6 to 8 months. And you're like, what? We need to start doing stuff next week. And they're like, well, all right. Go buy your power from someone else. I'm like, we can't. They're like, exactly. All these that's a great, this leads to so many discussions. All these manufacturing jobs that they're talking about, whether they're human or robot, doesn't matter. They need power. And I believe the crypto swamp creatures are going to have a discussion about the looming power crisis in their next episode. And you can't get power quickly. You can't just build a factory. Or like say you got a big warehouse and you say, all right, we want to turn this into a manufacturing facility. Warehouses have small amounts of power. Factories need big amounts of power. And power companies are not fast to do that. Not because they want to be slow. It's because it's difficult. And building transformers they're not like cookie cutter things. Like go to the hardware store and say, give me 1,000 amp 480 transformer, stepping it down to 208 3 phase. very, very, very custom. And so they have to build them. They have to order them, build them, blah, 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 blah. It shows up, they have to install it, you have to get certified, to get it approved by your city building codes, and blah, blah, blah. Takes effing forever and cost me a goddamn fortune when I was doing that, having to rent generators. And so all the that money that they say that's going to create all these jobs is definitely something that you won't see happen until Trump's out of office. Even if he changes the Constitution and gets a third term, that's a long time away. Unless people just buy more of the stuff we're making, because.
Well, I think what's interesting is that when we look at a potential move where, what's the word I want to use? If it's so substantial and so hard, I mean, we're talking like just explodes the economy, and all of a sudden we see real innovation. Like I've talked about, he's got to get those jobs coming in that he's made deals with, and even if he can just get them up and running, and getting contracts pushing throughout all of America and many other areas around America, we're talking major, because we really haven't been seeing private sector jobs really expand. And so if we can actually see it, and we're talking, and I mean over the last 2 administrations, right? Even in Trump's original administration, right? You didn't really see a huge amount of private sector jobs. So if we can really see that happen here, and all of a sudden just because one job that you create from overseas coming into America creates 3 to 4 other jobs at least. Right, and Tom just got done elucidating on that with his own manufacturing business. So with that said, if he could even start to really push up, because I've showed multiple times now that private sector jobs on the debt clock here, right, is like suppressed, right? It's suppressed. We haven't seen much. So if we could actually see real jobs being created in America throughout the states, this would actually be one of those things that would actually just really explode and give him that favorability of, well, can I run a third term and see what I could do? I don't want to see that, right? Because again, then that decimates one of the major portions of the U.S. Constitution.
Right.
But if he jumps this GDP, right, all of a sudden we see $1 trillion to $2 trillion push on a yearly basis, and we become parity to the debt, because I've talked about us being about 25% over acceleration of the GDP. Basically, whatever the GDP is, add a 25%, and that's our US debt. And we're seeing that even pull away even faster as we accumulate more debt and that interest comes in. So when I'm looking at it from these levels here, if he can do that, and all of a sudden we start seeing an excessive amount of innovation in America, he might be able to actually able to do that. Give me 1 second, okay?
No problemo. Pedro El Bizio there for a second. My high school Spanish has left me. My restaurant Spanish includes just enchilada, margarita, burrito, chimichanga, and sí. For are you done? Sí. Or no más. No más. That's the extent of my Spanish. Famously loved the line from the movie Airplane, El no smoko. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Pedro's got the debt clock on here. One of the things that I'm always interested in is it has a thing here for how much you're worth as an American citizen. Adds up all the assets of the United States government, values what battleships are, with buildings, everything, you name it. Divides it up amongst the population and says you are worth. Let's see. I can't find it on there. Pedro knows where it is. Where is it? Anyway, one of the most important things here is this manufacturing jobs thing. This is where we've gone wrong. Total manufacturing jobs, 12 million. In the year 2000, it was 17 million. I might add, our manufacturing GDP has kept going up, so each worker has become more productive. But this here, government employees, 24 million. 24 million government employees. That doesn't mean federal. That means at all levels. That means there are more people managing us than making stuff. Imagine that, 24 million people. That's one for every 11 of us? Or 12? One out of every 12 of us works in government somehow. That's a little more than that, 1 in 15. Still, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I noticed that... Okay, Joe, he's off a minute. No, so this is a good time to do a Rumble ad. Okay, when I get the opportunities to do, and this one is also for Rumble, for being a segment sponsor here. In addition to coming to you live from the Rumble studio platform, as you already know, Rumble is on a mission to keep the internet free and open. Rumble.com empowers creators like me and Pedro to express ourselves freely and to share genuine content. By fighting government and big tech censorship, Rumble encourages healthy debate and entertains users as well. I invite you to further this journey by downloading the Rumble app. That's right, the mobile app for Android and iOS, and become part of a growing community that values freedom and authentic expression. Click on the link to download the Rumble app today. Right here next to me, there's a QR code. Click it, get the Rumble app. The Rumble app is much better than the YouTube app because you don't have to pay if you take the browser or app out of focus. With the Rumble app, you can put, if you're listening to us at work, you can put it in your pocket and it'll still play. YouTube, your screen shuts off unless you pay pay YouTube to keep it on. So the Rumble app works just a lot better. It keeps you listening to us, ladies and gentlemen. Keeps all the good news coming out of Pedro's mouth about the market, and keeps the witty comments from me coming even when you're busy at work. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks to Rumble for being a sponsor of this segment here. Click this QR code, go to it in the comments section. There's also a link to it, and of course, in the description and body, there will be a link to it put in there by Rumble as well. So, thank you to Rumble for that.
Can you hear me, bud?
I can hear you, Pedro.
Excellent. For whatever reason, I stepped away and...
Camera el no worko. There's my Spanish coming out again.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
While you're off, I was extolling the extent of my high school and restaurant Spanish. To the phrases of el no worko, el no smoko, go back to worko.
Yep. That's burrito, taco.
Yeah, that would be my. I was explaining my restaurant Spanish of enchilada, burrito, rojo sauce, verde.
Sí, ¿qué pasa?
Right, or if they say you finished, I say sí, or no más. Just done. No más, no more. That's it. A long time ago, ladies and gentlemen, I was on track to speaking Spanish, and I can read a little bit and comprehend a little bit, but everyone that comes to the U.S. wants to learn English, well, unless you live down in Miami. And so nobody wants to speak it with you. Or they speak a version of Spanish that you just have no idea what's going on. It's so street and so slang. It's like listening to Quebecois instead of regular French. You're like, what on earth was that?
What is Quebecois? I'm sorry.
The Canadian French in Quebec.
And that's what it's called? Quebecois?
Quebecois. Yeah, it's a colloquial name for their dialect of French. It's still called French. It's a French language, but it's like listening to people in Brooklyn. You know, you're like, whoa. Like you ever listen to crypto YouTuber Randy Hipper?
No.
She's on at 10 a.m. every day, and she was the Miss Teen Crypto. You know, that was her thing. She started streaming when she was like 16 or 17. And she's from Brooklyn. And she has a massive New York accent. And now she's moved to Florida, down near Crypto Lifer, but she still has this. It's so thick, and you look at it, you listen to her, you're like, whoa! Now that's a New York accent, and that's what it's like in Canada, in the French parts. Canada. Their accent is far different than Paris's, and most of France. And each one of them look at each other like they're crazy. I don't know what the hell you're saying. I don't know what the hell you're saying.
Personal brand.
No matter what I do, I can have this thing on off, and it still doesn't make sense to me.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for everyone that's tuning in today. Really appreciate it. As always, you don't need to have a Rumble account, or you don't need to pay Rumble. As our ad earlier said, we're just happy that you're watching us on Rumble. So please sign up for an account, and you can sign up for the free account. You can log in with your Google. You don't even need to new passwords or anything. And you can always revoke that too, right in Google. You can say delete it. But following us and liking us helps. It lets Rumble know that people are watching our channel, and that's appreciated if you do that. And to be honest, Pedro, every time we ask people to do that, we get a few more followers. So thank you very much to everyone that does that.
Yes, immensely.
Oh, yeah, don't forget. Sorry, Mike says don't forget about the Acadia French too. Yeah, the problem is the Acadia French, the Acadia French, is that they seem very like normal people in the eyes of English-speaking Westerners. Whereas the Frenchy French, when they talk, you're like, first of all, you don't understand their French, but two, their slant on the dialect of English is like mind-numbing. It's like, whoa. Anyway, but the great people up there. Natasha and I have visited the Acadia hinterlands in New Brunswick. Beautiful part of the country. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you, Pedro. I've been going on too long.
It's okay. It's totally right. I forget what we were talking about. Something about Trump and really increasing the ability for jobs to really proliferate the private sector, which will actually generate real GDP for America, and hence give us kind of a leverage, even more leverage, as we start to sell across the world and see what we can do, let alone also generating real GDP, real jobs, hence causing people to actually be able to spend more money within and circulate it here in the US. So that also helps our economy as well. Now let's go ahead and look at some of these meme coins that we talked about, because I want to go over this stuff and kind of see what
meme coins. I need a ditty for meme coins. I need like a carnival sounds or something, do, or the Star Wars bar scene or something.
Oh yeah, dude, that is the epic. Yes,
I could probably play a few seconds of that. No, I don't want to change the audio source.
Don't do that, because then we might get hit with a.
Oh, I can always just mute it out real quick. You know what? I don't have it on this computer.
That's all good. We'll come up with something later. But let's check out these meme coins, because I think some of the stuff that's actually happening within the meme coin world has been real interesting. It's because, and this is the other part. It's because quite a few people did like what Brian was talking about with Bonk and their whole entire ecosystem, and actually how they basically just stomped on Pump Fund, which was really interesting, right? And how they created a whole entire mechanism literally overnight. I won't say overnight, literally, but literally within a few days, weeks, it just exploded. And now we see Pump Fund has a real competitor, and it's been really interesting to see what's actually been coming out of it. Some of the meme coins that have been popping off. Again, people are getting wealthy and rich. And so I asked him, I said, we have quite a few people that really like what you said. Would you be willing to come on at least once a month, just seeing some of the coins you're looking at and talking about it? And he goes, definitely, as long as it's not on a technical Tuesday, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, it was hard for him to follow Technical Tuesday. It was really, but you start talking into, he said, and bonds, he goes, no bonds. No, I don't.
He follows interest rates because I know that he does real estate and stuff like that. But on the back end, because he buys and he looks to hold. He's smart when it comes to, he understands real estate really well. So everybody has their skill set. So let's go ahead and move here real quick so we can check out some of the stuff. So some of the big movies, which we kind of saw coming, which was Fart Coin.
Fart. Really bring me a dart gun, not a fart gun. Okay. I have to do it every time.
Every time.
Every time.
You don't need to do it too. I was gonna say, but if you want to, you can. It's, you know what? I'm gonna start saying, "Hello, mate. How you doing? I will fart in your direction. I fart in your direction." Anybody, if you know where that's from, you're a legend. A legend. All right, so let's check this out real quick. So, it's really interesting that fart coin is really starting to do some pumpage. They did a bit of a pullback today, but look at it. They've been playing off about 8.
Fart in your general direction.
There you go. You can see here that fart coin is starting to pick up, and we're creating new all-time highs here. Even yesterday we came in, boom, pulling back down to, and they're playing this smartly. I mean, I don't know who's taking profit, but they're taking profit at good points. And also you can see here that we have a nice little supply area here over in fart coin. Fart coin, as you can see right here, and this is the daily. Which day was this?
I've been so busy yucking it up here over the fart gun versus the dart gun that I forgot to get the great graphics machine working here.
It is okay. I fart in your general direction. You know, as a typical British man, at least he's polite and he farts in our direction, not on us.
You mean, as a typical Frenchman, are you French? Of course we are French. Why do you think we speak with this outrageous accent?
Yeah, forgive me.
For those of you who have not watched Monty Python's The Holy Grail, my God, you are missing a cultural gem.
Gem. All right, so we saw it go to 245,000 or 224,000, and it's literally almost about to hit that 2 billion. It's 1.5 billion. So if you got in at these lows here, respect to stay with this community, because literally you're almost up 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 5x. You should be up 5x or around there. So congrats to you and the community, to you guys, to the fart going community. I want to say, doing a good job. Whatever you can do, I'm definitely seeing a lot of your stuff online. And more importantly, let's go ahead and look at this. Weekly, we have demand wicks. Also, we're above the 50 period moving average. It looks like we're going to see it should pull back a little. Don't get freaked out. It needs to pull back on the weekly so that we can put that demand wick in and then see it continue. So again, this is not a negative thing. This is a simple thing for people who are looking to get in, to come down, bounce off of this demand area here. Just sitting around about right here, in case y'all wanted to know. It's a little bit of right here. Also, if you're a major YouTuber or somebody else who watches us and you've got a big name out there, please share our show.
Please do that, everyone. We would certainly appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll hold my pinky up and say I'm chuffed as nuts if you do so.
Chuffed as nuts. That's a English, or is that a...
We won't say British because that involves the Scots. We'll just say English term.
It is an English term. I am chuffed as nuts. Chuffed as nuts or chuffed nuts?
Chuffed as nuts.
Chuffed as nuts. So there you guys go. So don't be chuffed as nuts. Did I say that right? Probably.
Yes.
All right, don't be chuffed as nuts. A pullback would be good because that means that people like me would like to get in on it at these lower levels before we go back all the way up to the 3 billion and upwards. So do not to worry. It is okay. Next. What over? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Next.
So do not to worry. Next, what we're going to go into is FWOG. We're going to check out FWOG. So let's check out FWOG right here. And next we'll go into Ponky after that. So what was really interesting about FWOG, and we talked about it down at these lower levels here, I thought we were going to see it come down, but we started seeing that support come in on that A. And last week I said after, I believe believe July 15th was last Thursday, right? No, Tuesday. So I think it was, yeah, right here. And we had the pullback here. And I said, look, this little area right here is a good area for us to get in at. That's that 41 million. We've got this little supply area that we're going to be playing off of. But look, we can see volume picking up right up at these higher levels, or at these higher levels. We're seeing volume step in. So expected to see it continue up. We're seeing the pullback off of this, and this is actually kind of a good thing when we look at this, is that this pullback here is not a bad thing. You should see a pullback here because it's that 100-day period moving average, which is the yellow line. And additionally to that, you also have that 200 period moving average. And most traders realize if you right here can blow off the 100-day, that 200-day, when you hit it, will not have as much of a massive sell-off. And so you can see here that we've been playing off of that 8-period moving average. So we've got a strong, or developing a strong trend, potentially up with good amount of conviction with volume. So we can see here that this nice little play might be pulling back here to the 8 right here, and then push back up again into this level, come back down where the 8 would probably be about right here. And then we'll see it then come back up. It'll probably close or first get pushed down first by the 200 period moving average, which is sitting where the pink line is at. And then we will then see it. Oh, you suck. Yeah, there you go. I was like, and I fart in your general direction. So you can see here that this area right here is going to act as some type of resistance, which is most likely going to correlate with this supply area. But if we see good amount of volume come in, and again, you're going to need to go down to the 5-minute zone, or the 5-minute, what do you call it? The 5-minute chart here. And you're going to want to see, as we hit these higher levels here, which is roughly around this area, you want to see a lot of volume, big green candles coming in. And yes, we're going to see sellers come in like we saw here. But the big key point is when you see big amount of volume coming in at those highs, and then as we come down into the lower levels, which was what I was talking about, and we see another big green candle stepping in with demand wicks, right? That's what we want to see. And so we're waiting on egg pens. Let's go. Let's get the name out there. Talk about it. Get big on social media. We believe in you. Let's go. Next one we are going to hit up is Ponky. Ponky here. It's pulled back. We had some supply wicks come in that got established. This is the type of situation I was talking about with Foggy, right? Whereas it didn't really put in any weekly demand wicks. And so now it's pulling back. So it didn't put any demand wicks, so it's pulling back here. But lo and behold, where is it going? It's coming to that 8-period moving average. And so that pullback on this 8-period moving average, get ready to see buyers step in, and then watch it continue higher and go and at least tap up into that 50-period moving average, which is the gray line that I just pointed out right there. So good times coming here with that. All right. If you are watching us on Rumble, please jump and ask, like, what's a meme coin? Why do you go over these meme coins? Basically, meme coins are cultural significance in relationship to where you can make money. Similar to how we see like baseball cards for the other generation. You could sit there and engage like guitars, right? The older generation when it comes to music, huge thing, or cars, instruments, right? Like those were the collectibles for the great generation, right? Baby boomers. And then for us, we were huge in the baseball cards, right? We were huge into football cards. And then the next generation after that, we saw, gathering, was it Magic gathering of the Magic cards. You saw also Pokemon cards, things of that nature. So now I want you to take that same ideology, okay, and I want you to put that digital, because this generation, right, generation X, or excuse me, generation Y, and potentially Z has really, they're the digital generation. And so you can gauge with the same idea of it's a cultural phenomenon, and it's a group of people that basically play a game called a stock, or it's actually not a stock, a collectible, and you can see the value in real sight. Now that same value is tied to the community and their ability to play the game, where the game is literally to push out their community and gather more community. And so you go from basically collector items like cars, when it comes to musical instruments, to baseball cards, and then into Pokemon and like Magic the Gathering, and what was the other one? When kids started playing Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, there you go. He went out and got. Who's that? I can't see it, bro.
That's Tom Browning from the 1997 Reds, I think.
There you go. See, we understand. Like, I once had a Ricky Henderson.
Sorry, 1987 Reds. 87 Reds.
Oh, it's all good. Chris Keck, who was a guy that I knew in grade school. His dad owned like a bunch of baseball cards. He owned thousands. And I remember Ricky Henderson, his VP year, came in, and I went to Chris Keck's house because they used to play baseball with a ball bat, baseball. And I said, can I buy some of your stuff? And I had a paper out, so I always had money. And I remember going in, and I bought 9 Ricky Henderson VIP card, or MVP card, and I bought 9 of them, and he gave it to me for a really good deal, right? I bought them for like $10, $11, which would be about 10, 20, maybe $40 back then, right? Comparative. And it was so interesting, legit, and this is the part that's so crazy, right? My foster brother, douche Craig, dude was a douche, bro, like, for real. Growing up, the dudes used to literally call me gay, and you remember how like big deal that was growing up. Like,
yeah, that was bad. It was a terrible insult. Bro. You were like, no.
Yeah, it was like social, like
Armageddon,
disparity.
Right?
Yeah. Anyways, he used to go around and spread all these horrible BS, and because he was my foster brother, it actually gave validity to his BS. Oh. And so, bro, you don't even know. But here's the thing: he freaking stole my Ricky Henderson. Remember they used to come into the 3x3, right? And even today, man, I think it like irks me a little. Like, part of me is like, Lord bless that man, because if ever I see him again, I'm gonna. Anyways, so God willing, Lord bless that dude, please, because oof. Anyways, jumping back here. So this here is this generation, alpha, beta. This ain't going away. So that's why, as the older generation, you need to pay attention to this, because as time progresses in 10, 15, 20 years, these type of things will increase in value. And so that's why we pay attention to meme coins, right? Just like,
you mean like a Pete Rose manager card here?
Oh my, are you for real?
Look at this. Oh yeah, baby.
Bro, that's money. It's mint. Look, mint.
Yeah, it's mint. There's no. This is my Cincinnati Reds box.
Bro, I wouldn't even touch it with my hand. I'd put on gloves. What are you doing touching it with your hand?
It was just loose in here.
What are you doing, dude? Like, that's money. What is this probably worth? Like
Chris Sabo.
2,000?
If it was worth $2,000, this shit would be sold and in a Bitcoin trading account. That's what that would be.
Look into him, man. I mean, dude, Pete Rose. I think Pete Rose is now in the Hall of Fame, right? They brought him.
No, he still had that gambling problem. But now that baseball's officially embraced gambling, there's a push to reinstate him. Oh, Rob Dibble. Look at this. Rob was one of the original pitchers that could throw 100 miles an hour. This is his 1984 card. 87 card. Oh my God, whatever. I don't know what year it is. God,
dope.
Unbelievable.
I love it. I love that stuff. All right, so let's check out Ponky. Shout out to David over at the David Goggenstein. I need to learn. I really need to learn his last name. He's totally into Ponky, and because of what we've been seeing with a lot of the stuff happening with Ponky and their network, we're seeing it. I mean, honestly, I think we're gonna see it pump up, because even now at these couple of days of sell-off, right? Look, like, you have a small amount of red seller volume, which basically means that even though we have a sell-off here, I'm waiting for it to go up. And so one of the areas that I'm definitely looking at here is going to be this area here as a liquidity point, which is going to be right here, and that is, that's going to be that 72 million area as we pull back. So it's about a 30% pullback from the highs of 100 million. And so that 70 million or 72 million is a good little area to kind of potential push it back up. Again, that's where the 200-day or 100-day period moving average is sitting. Right now we have the 200 period where it's finding some support. But more importantly, just want to add in, we didn't put in any real supply wick for this day. And so, and the supply wick that we did come in, we did create, has been traded through. So it's going to be easier to push through this. So that's why I'm expecting to pull down into Ponky as an actual place to buy in around that 70 million. When we started talking about it, it was roughly around that 50 to 60 million. So shout out to the people who got in at these lower levels. Let's check out as we move forward Peanut. Now, Peanut has received, I believe, some attention in relationship to the whole entire craze with in the degen world. They look at narratives and what's actually happening and try to capture the narrative for the day, and so all those coins will then go up 100x, 300x, right, and then sell off. But more importantly, Peanut, because of the situation going on with not Dunkin' Donuts, with Krispy Kreme, there is a fight to actually go through and save Krispy Kreme because of the situation that's similar to MGM, not MGM. What was it called? With what's his name? He was the guy, Roaring Kitty, right? That whole entire movement that he caused for to stop GameStop from getting crushed, right? He brought in a bunch of people who were basically buying these out-of-date like stocks, and the institutions were out there just destroying these small narrative stocks, which has been interesting. They've actually stopped. Because they just don't want to get caught off guard anymore. So they've actually been trying to stay away from these type of stocks where they could ignite the community around the world and get people to get behind them, like they saw during GameStop and the other one. What was the other one?
AMC.
Yeah, AMC. There you go. The AMC, not MGM, but AMC movement. So again, and so you saw a lot of actual people stepping in and starting to buy Peanut, which was really interesting, right, when that happened. So we'll see if people forget about it. I think it's another Peanut out there. But again, I'm still looking at this Peanut here, what we're seeing here, and seeing it play off of that 8 period, pulling back. What's one of the things I'm going to say is look at the volume. Pretty high for buyers, and there's no real seller wick, so which means that this is a temporary pullback into some form of supply, and one of the area, or not supply but demand. And so I'm looking at this area right here as a pullback area, see them stop people out, pull back, and go back up. So you guys know how to play that. We've talked about that immensely. Wow, that's really interesting how it does that. Like if I just do this, let's pull this back.
This is really strange.
And here we go. Boom. You right there?
Yeah, I keep a sheet of all these symbols that I put in the great graphics machine, and it's missing a bunch of them for some reason.
Oh, that sucks. All right, so Peanut, like I said, I'm kind of waiting for a pullback here down to that 265 milli, and then see it continue all the way up to about, I think we could see it get to that 2.40 or 2.4 billion mark area. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see if this really catches wings. And again, sitting at a 296 mil area, you could definitely see an almost 10x, and if it starts to catch wings, we could see it get up to 5 billion. So it's going to be really interesting to see. And also to the people here that bought in with Peanut as it went down to 123 million, shout out to you for staying with your community. That's awesome. As you can see, it tapped up into that 500 million, pulled back. We did not put in a lower low, which I thought we were going to come in, tap this low, and then go back up, but we didn't. So that's a good sign of saying it should continue up as we pull back into these other levels to pick up buyers. Let's check out. I want to shout this out because they're doing a lot. They're doing a lot, and I respect them for their grind. And again, to our main guy, Chuck Jansen, who's been a long-time supporter, I've been paying attention to what Fire Chicken is doing, and they just released their crypto education system. They partnered with a bunch of people, and so now you can actually go through, learn a lot about crypto, how to get in, get out. So shout out to Chuck Jansen, who's been building, and he's been building Fire Chicken here. Right now, they're at 49,000, and I think whoop 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 whoop. So
what is Fire Chicken's underlying token? What chain are they on there? Solana? Well, Solana's been pumping, so that's been helping their liquidity pool out. That will help pump a token all day long.
But also more important, I want to point this out, is that you can definitely see that they, even in the midst of the sell-off here down, when they were coming down to that 32,000 area, like this was scary for them. I think this was pretty scary because you saw people liquidating. And then this consolidation period right here of just people building up right here. Most people would have quit. Like at this point where it's just like it hits this area, the supply. And here's the part that's so awesome. Came up to our supply area, took a bunch, and it didn't hit it exactly, but it came up to our supply area, sold off, bounced off the 100 period daily moving average, as you can see right here. And look at this. I think it's brilliant, that consolidation period here. And I know Chuck, I know the way he works mentally, and I know that he planned this I don't want to say planned it exactly.
Planned it all out.
But he knew that if he could get on that 100, because he knows, he always listens to us. And like the 100-day period moving average is a significant point that you want to be able to hold. And so we talked about that. And sure enough, man, look at freaking Fire Chicken. So shout out to Fire Chicken for what you guys are doing. I respect your guys' hustle. I need to come into your actual, your community because, man, I respect it. You guys are grinding. And if you guys keep going, you're going to see things really just start to populate. And just the idea of real crypto education is what they're really pioneering. And I respect it. So I look forward to seeing more from Fire Chicken. Shout out
10 cents.
What's that?
Here I have the 1987 Randy Myers Mets rookie card, which was purchased for 50 cents a while ago. And now the value of them are 10 cents.
What's Pete Rose, though?
Oh, anywhere from 74 cents to $16,000 for the one I have.
Told you. And yours is mint.
It's mint, but it's not graded with any authentication. So I don't know what, Pedro, I have shit tons of baseball cards, and I have just been sitting on them for years. I gave a big chunk of them to my son many moons ago, and most of them are from the 70s. And I saw him like on the floor in his room, and I just went and put them back in, took them back. And you know, most of them just sitting there in rubber band stuff, not in plastic things and stuff like that. Most of them, I played games with them. You know, my friends and I would play, you know, various baseball card games with them. So very few of them are okay. But this Pete Rose one could be. I would willing to bet it would be $10 at some point. No, at $10. If it's worth a couple thousand, I'll be taking a break from the show for a little while because I got boxes of this shit. Yeah, I got shoe boxes full of this stuff. I got you name it. Just been sitting on them for ages. This one even has a key, so no one could steal it, but they can just pick the whole thing up and walk away with it.
There you go. So, jumping back here to Fire Chicken, if these guys, if it really starts to get going, and we start to see, we can see that it's bouncing. It went from 30 triple four or quadruple for 40 32 20 or 32 56 all the way up literally, and this is kind of crazy, to 50, almost 50. Peak was 50, but here's the thing. Again, the sellers aren't really that strong. And so for me, I'm looking at this going, this looks like a pretty good move here. We could see this thing get back up all the way to the peaks, which was basically 3019. Again, that's a 10x, or potential, excuse me, not potential. That is 2, that's at least a 2x there, if not 4, 8, that's 5, 10, 15. So that would literally be, it'd be a 3x. It could be a 3x pump from here to the highs and then see it get going. Again, this is a super micro count. This thing is still at 49K. But again, I'm looking at it because if it really starts to go, it could get pumping like it's hot. Oops, my bad. Okay. Next, let's look at Saiyan. Saiyan was one of those ones that we were looking at earlier. It's pulling back to the 8-period moving average here on the monthly. We talked about that. And the only problem is that we're putting in supply wigs, but the supply wigs don't have a lot of sellers really stepping in. So a simple, good little couple buys here on the daily could really enable this thing to really get up and go and catch some wings. So we're kind of sitting back waiting for Saiyan to really pick up and get going. If we do see it sell off, we've got a good liquidity area at this level right here, which is going to be that 002820 area. And you could see this thing kind of pick up there and really get going. So kind of play around here, but we did see it pump a little, kind of pull back, and it tried to pick up a new high, but you can see we also have some supply area right here around that. They almost got to 1 cent again. Ooh, look at that. When you talk about a heartbreak, they're like, come on, 1 cent, and then they sold off. Somebody sold off on them. So I would sit there and say, kind of keep your eye on this again for Saiyan, and kind of expect to see if it comes down into this lower area here to see a pickup of buyers. We also talked about this other level down here, which is going to be that 001504 to the 001347. Nice little area right there. Let's go ahead and pull up Chill Guy here real quick. Chill Guy was one of those ones that I was kind of really expecting to see it pop. And let me go and pull up the micro cap or the market. I said that it needed to get above that 8-period monthly period moving average. And we can see it's pulling back here, but it's, when you look at the pullback, it's not necessarily super big. And we're almost done with the week, right? I mean, it starts on Sunday, and we've gone through almost 4 days straight now. And the volume here is about half, maybe a little bit less. And so typically, what do we see on the weekends? Less volume. So this is, maybe at the most might see 1.8 mil, or when it comes, we might see 75% of the volume from previous week. If not, keep where it's at right now. You can see it's kind of chilling here on Chill Guy. So if this thing starts to find, again, support on that 8-period moving average on the daily now, because we search, remember I always start at monthly, we go to weekly, and then we go to the daily chart here. You can see here, this is a good area, roughly around that 74 million. And the other one, liquidity, could be right in this level here too as well. So liquidity area of 63 mil. And the other one is right here as we sit down, which is where the 8-period moving average is, which is sitting right about here. You can see that. And then also you have the, I messed that up. Give me a second. Right here where you have the 89 moving average, it's going pretty strong. So this first pullback here should act as some type of pullback where we see buyers step in. So we've got a few of them right here that if we do pull back, it's sitting around that 70 to 63,000. But if it finds wings, as I say, and we start to see volume come in, then this is where you want to be paying attention to, because that means it's going to hit. Oh shoot, I forgot. We actually have a meeting right now with our friend Heather, which I totally forgot, and she just hit me up as we speak.
All right, give her five. Tell her we're just finishing our show. We'll be with her in 5 minutes here. We goof that up.
No, we didn't. We're still. Hey Pedro, I was in a prior meeting. and I think the room should still be the same. You are not in a Zoom waiting room, are you? No, we are not, but me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, while Pedro's getting some things behind the scenes done, with Pedro and I, since I was late today, we forgot to look at the clock here and make sure we're on time for something else. But everyone, as I posted here, thanks for joining the show, everyone. Please like and subscribe. It's free. It's free, ladies and gentlemen. All you got to do is listen to my whack job humor, Pedro's spot-on analysis, and all the edutainment you get here for joining us. I will look for it, Pedro. Give me a second here. Your mic is off, just so you know. All right, your mic is back on, Pedro.
Awesome. Thank you so much, brother. So, guys, so check this out here real quick. Chill, guys, pulling down here, and I'm expecting us to see roughly around that 74 milli down to the 63 milli, that we are going to see some kind of explosion as we come down. Again, I'm seeing more demand wicks than we are seeing supply wicks, which means that people are buying this thing. And so let's go, chill guy. Whoop whoop. Say what's up. Here we go. The other one I want to go over. So Peanut. Oh, Swift. Shouting out Whiff here real quick. Kitty with hat. Kitten with, or was Whiff? K Whiff is what I was looking for. Boom. I thought I'd pull that up real quick. Boom. No, not a Zoom. I mean,
Oh, for us. I'm sorry. That's right, to bring her into this one, right? Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Pedro and I just setting up a meeting following the show here. That one will work just fine. Anyway, it's probably better that we get going here, Pedro. Then we didn't reach our next advertising goal, which was for 50 viewers. Coming. It will be here soon enough.
Talk to us. Ask real questions. Say, and if you say like, "Hey, I don't like you, Pedro, because you've got big lips," and I'll be like, "Okay, you're right. Maybe I'll see if I can do exercises." But either way, let's have fun. Come in. Let's have a good time. Let me take K Whiff real quick, so I want to talk about it. And then we can move forward. K Whiff. That's Kitty with hat. And let's make sure we look at it here real quick. Boom.
K Whiff. I don't think I have that in the system.
And who wrote the book of love? Hey, what's up, Head? How you doing? All right, so let's jump in here real quick. So K-Whip, which is so interesting here, as we came down into this lower level here, and we didn't even get down to the 53,000 area. Again, this one has another massive following. In addition to that, the narrative here on K-Whip is so important because it is the first meme coin that was ever launched on Pump Fund. And right now, with what the battle going on between what we're seeing with Ponky system as well as with what we're seeing with Pump Fund, this could be a significant coin, much like a Pete Rose autograph coin, because this was the first one that Elon really put out there and got it going. So remember, we're talking about memorabilia here, right? It's that idea of that people want literally because of just for nostalgia's sake. So this is one of those ones we weren't able to get to these lower lows. So I'm definitely looking for it to potentially get up. Now, as we were into the lower lows here, most important was this, is we didn't see a lot of sellers coming, right? Even though we saw a lot of seller wicks, not a lot of sellers. So that's why I'm still looking to be picking up it around that 140,000 area to this 200,000 area. And if we can get down to that 53,000 area and still have low volume, game's off. I expect this thing to push up after that. So that's it in a nutshell, guys. I just want to say thank you so much for being in here. Tomorrow we're going to be going over blockchains, up and coming blockchains, and see what's actually happening there. I love blockchains. I love innovations. And so I'm always keeping my ear close to the ground for new type of developments and seeing, just like I was talking about with NFTs, right? That we're seeing an evolution of NFTs really come in. The DNFTs, which was at the end of the last bull market. And then now the new bull market, as we come into it, I see NFTs really still becoming an integral part of crypto. That was so hard to say. So expecting tomorrow, check it out. Please hit the like, subscribe, and share button. And when we're not here, or if we're not on, but you guys have a question, please ask a question in the comment section. We'll go back at it. Even if it's like, hey, Pedro, you were talking about the Hong Kong carry trade. Can you elucidate on that for next week or for tomorrow? I would love to. You just let me know what you want me to look up. I'll go into detail and we can have a lot of good discussion.
Yous was talking smack, Pedro. That's what Yous was talking. Anyway, everyone, as I always say, thanks for joining us today. Even though we got started late today because of my long drive back from Wisconsin to Chicago. Had a great couple of days with Striking Jr. up there, hunting some jobs in the aviation industry. He did a great job. So proud of the old son here. And good luck to Striking Jr. with all those leads that he got for jobs. Like I always say, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media universe. So glad to have hosted another great episode of the show. The man in the box next to me, one Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. We will be back here, same bad channel, same bad time tomorrow. See you.
See you guys.